Today, we're diving headfirst into the most valuable asset we all have, and that is time. Although it's our most valuable asset, it's the one we waste the most of. Welcome to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. This is a podcast that empowers you to take back control of your life, to start unlocking your true potential, and to get you out of the monotony and living up to the life you desire. I'm Sanj, and today we're going to be talking about the secrets of time management. We'll be uncovering the 5 biggest time wasting culprits, exploring 3 reasons why we need to manage our time better and how it can change our life. And I'll be giving you 4 strategies which you can implement today to make the most of those precious hours. Time is like a treasure chest, and each moment that we have is a precious gem. And it's also up to us how we spend those gems, whether we squander them or we invest them wisely. It's funny because time is our most valuable asset, but we don't guard it the way we guard other things like money or our possessions. We actually don't consider it the non-renewable resource, the finite resource that it actually is. I know I never used to, and over the last few years, I've managed to implement some really good strategies which not only allow me to manage my time better, but it genuinely feels like I have more time in the day. I can fit more in than I ever thought possible. And it gives me time to not only have a full 9 to 5, it allows me to be a dad, it allows me to be a son, a friend, a husband, and it helps me get the time to actually build up this podcast. So let's start things off by exposing the 5 biggest ways where we waste our time. The first is mindless scrolling, and this is something we all do. It's so easy to do nowadays. Social media, we can sit there scrolling endlessly, browsing the internet, browsing social media, checking things we don't even need to. And the average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media alone. Can you imagine how much time that adds up to? In a year, that's over 700 hours. And on top of that, there's also been another statistic that the average person spends 2.8 hours a day watching TV. Can you imagine what you could do with all that time back in your life? The second way we waste our time is by overthinking. It's like the hamster wheel for our mind. It keeps going round and round, but you're not getting anywhere. You're not changing anything. You're not doing anything productive. It saps our time and our energy. And when you start overthinking, it ends up resulting in a lot of those thoughts being repetitive, being unproductive, and actually not improving your life or changing your position in any way, shape, or form. The third way in which we waste our time is by procrastinating. Procrastination is a silent time thief. It sneaks in when we put off tasks, when we promise we'll do them later, and then later turns into never. We are programmed to put off those things which don't bring us joy, that scare us. But what we need to start doing is we need to start taking back control. We need to use that time productively. So rather than procrastinating, decide, is it something you actually want to do? The fourth way that we waste our time is by multitasking. It may feel efficient, but it actually leads to a reduction in your productivity. It means that you're not actually focusing on 2 tasks simultaneously. You're actually switching between 2 tasks very quickly. And so as a result, you're not focusing on either one very well. So what will end up happening is it ends up taking you longer to complete those 2 tasks at the same time than if you had taken them on one by one. And finally, is the lack of prioritization. When you fail to prioritize your tasks, it can lead you to just wandering throughout your day, just moving from task to task, which isn't productive, which don't change the needle in your life, and can actually keep you exactly where you are because you're not prioritizing the important things in your life. So, when you start thinking about all that time that you're wasting on mindless scrolling, on overthinking, on procrastination, on multitasking, and when you cannot prioritize, it all adds up over the week. And so, when you actually start to manage your time better, the benefits it brings you is phenomenal. The first one is it increases your productivity. When you are effective in time management, it boosts your productivity. When you're using your time wisely, you end up accomplishing more in less time. And that leaves you for room to fill your time with other activities that you want, to do things that you want to do that bring you more joy, that bring you more happiness, that help you fulfill your life. Also, when you actually get better at time management, you reduce your stress because you have more control over your schedule. You are in charge of your schedule rather than it being in charge of you. It helps you avoid those last minute rushes, those late nights, and the anxiety it brings because you're struggling to reach your deadlines. So, when you start to manage your time better, you can manage your to do list better and it can help reduce your stress. The third thing is it actually improves your work life balance as well, because when you're more efficient with your time, it helps you strike a healthier work life balance. You can allocate more time to your career, your relationships, your self care. And because you're better with your time, you're more likely to actually stay on course with that. You're more able to fit everything in that you want so you can get that improved work life balance. But all these benefits are great, but how are you going to start taking control of your time? Well, here are four practical ways you can do it. And I've learned every single one of them. And the fourth one is probably my favorite. It takes control of most of my day. So the first thing is set clear goals. When you define your goals and prioritize them, your clarity will help you guide your actions and it will help you focus on what actually matters in your life, what you really need to focus on, what you actually not have to do. So make sure that you set your clear goals, you set them in a way where you've got a deadline to actually reach them because without a deadline, a goal is just a dream. The second strategy is to use time management tools. Use things like calendars, to do lists, planners. Yeah, use these and they can help you stay on track for your day. They can help you avoid distractions. And actually, when you plan your day, for every minute you spend planning, it saves you roughly 10 minutes in doing time. So you spend 10 minutes planning, that saves you roughly 100 minutes because you're not sat there thinking to yourself, what do I need to do next? What is the next thing on my to do list? You can actually see in front of you, you've got it all planned out, you know what to do and what order it needs to be done in, and you can sort your day out accordingly. The third strategy, this is going to be difficult for a lot of people because we're not used to doing it. I wasn't used to doing it, and it felt strange when I first implemented this, but learn to say no. It's easy to just say yes and then at a later point say no. We're used to saying yes and we're used to hearing yes. So when we say no, when we hear no, we take it as a negative thing. But actually, when you say no, it means you're not overcommitting to things that could actually end up causing you stress down the line or things that you may not actually get done. So then someone else has to struggle themselves. So, learning to say no when it's necessary ensures that you allocate your time to the activities that align with your goals and to get you where you need to be so you can accomplish the tasks you need to accomplish. Now, the fourth one, this is the one that changed my life because it makes the use of Parkinson's law, which is the task will take up the amount of time given. And the fourth strategy is to embrace time blocking. Time blocking involves scheduling specific blocks of time for tasks. So you have a start time and an end time. You set yourself an hour to do a task, you will get as much done in that time as possible because you know that actually you've got an hour to complete that task. But if you hadn't set that 1 hour to do it, then what you'd find is that 1 hour worth of work, which you crammed in, that could have taken you a day, 2 days, even more because you didn't have a deadline for it. This method, it helped me with my focus and it helped me with multitasking. It started to actually stop me from multitasking because I knew I had a set amount of time to get set tasks done, and that was it. It was phenomenal. So I would recommend trying this out. So remember that time is a finite resource, and how you use it, it shapes your life. So when you identify your time wasting habits and you start implementing these time management strategies, you can unlock your full potential. So use your time wisely, cherish your moments, and you have the power to take control of your time. And when you take control of your time, you can take control of your destiny. So thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know your biggest takeaways in the comments. I want to make a positive impact on this world, and I sincerely hope that you can help me doing that by sharing this podcast with others. Remember, your mindset shapes your reality. You master it, and you'll master your life. Thanks.